What's the real deal when you're looking to find a good woman, a genuine Filipina, either here in the Philippines or perhaps even back at your place? I'm Götz. I've been living in the Philippines for a decade now, and my mission is to lend you a hand, whether you're here just on a holiday or thinking about moving here for good. In my videos, I shoot straight from the hip, discussing topics my viewers are curious about. And today it's about how to spot a good Filipina. Because, as I've noticed, most folks, especially guys, seem a bit in the dark about what truly matters. So let's not waste any time. To find the right woman, you gotta start with some introspection. Yup. Before you can find the right one for you, you've got to make sure you're in tip-top shape yourself. Who are you? What are you after? How do you see yourself in a relationship? If you've decided to jet off to the Philippines to meet that special someone, take a moment and check yourself. What have you done so far and what are you doing right at this moment? What drove you to say, I'm done looking for a woman here in America, Canada or wherever you reside? I've heard the complaints, you're tired of this, fed up with that and so on. But hey, instead of mopping around, ask yourself why your past relationships hit the rocks. Sometimes it's easy to pass the buck when in reality the issue might lie with us. So if you're truly on the hunt for the right woman, maybe it's time to take a long look in the mirror. Because only then will you get a genuine answer from yourself about what you're searching for. And trust me, your quest for the right woman will be a whole lot smoother. Just to hammer this home, especially when things aren't going the way we want, we often point fingers at others. But newsflash, the issue often is with you. You gotta learn to ditch those blinders. Try seeing the world from others' perspectives. You're not the center of the universe. The world doesn't revolve around you. Remember, there are another 8 billion folks sharing this planet with you. So let's dive in. When you ponder over your past relationships, perhaps you missed some subtle hints that she wasn't quite the right fit for you. This isn't rocket science, it's more about being observant and having the right mindset. It's easy to fall for the same kind of woman over and then be like, why again when it falls apart again? But guess who's to blame? Yep, you got it, you. But now it's probably dawning on you that some soul searching is in order. And buddy, it's about time you adjusted your attitude to avoid making the same boo-boos repeatedly. Some good old self-reflection will do the trick. After a date, don't just head straight home. Once she's gone, replay the evening in your head. How did she react? What were the golden moments and the not so great ones? And what caused them? What did you say or do that might have led to them? And for goodness sake, don't kid yourself. If you messed up, own it. And more importantly, learn from it so that you can step up your game next time. While we're on the subject, don't forget about looking after your health. If you're in your 40s or even older like me, you'd probably want to enjoy many more great years with your partner. Surely, you're not picturing yourself getting wheeled around the beach by a bikini beauty at 60, right? I've seen some foreigners here in the Philippines in their 70s who are in such shape that I think to myself, that's how I want to be someday. So if you're currently just lazing around on the couch back home, you think that's just going to magically change when you land here? As mentioned before, first and foremost, change how you feel about yourself. Another important bit, your finances. And that's no small potatoes, especially if you're thinking about bringing someone over to your homeland. In Germany, for instance, where I come from, you need to show a stable standard of living, even if you're trying to bring your own wife into the country. That's a pretty big deal, and you ought to be in the now and plan ahead. But fret not, for most average Joes with a job, it's not too difficult. Just remember, a steady income isn't a luxury, it's a must-have. And the same goes if you're contemplating moving to her homeland. Getting prepped for life here in the Philippines or with a Filipina in your home country, it's not just a smooth highway with no hiccups. You gotta tweak a bunch of things, your attitude, health, and of course your finances. Those are the three basic pillars everything else stands on. So before diving into the where and how, first check if you're genuinely ready for this leap. I promised some straight talk here, and it's always better to be honest with yourself than take a step you might regret later. Next up, or did you think we were done? Let's ditch those fairy tales, shall we? If you're considering settling down in the Philippines, you need to eyeball what you've got tucked away. There are folks out there claiming you can emigrate and live the dream with just $5,000 in your pocket. But let's keep it real. With $5,000, even if you're paying a meager $100 rent in the province and budgeting maybe $400 monthly, that won't last you even a year. And let's be frank, do you actually want to live like that? We aren't talking just 10 months, but rather 20 years or more. We are discussing the rest of your life. Already got a decent pension and savings? Awesome, but make sure you've got a financial plan in place. Here in the Philippines, every expert should have a Get Me Home fund. You wouldn't believe how many foreigners I've seen on the streets here having to beg because life threw them a curveball. Got that plan B in place? Maybe around $3,000 that's easily accessible, just in case you need to pack up and skedaddle? Think long and hard about that before you start searching for a Filipina here. It's not just about finding the right woman. You've also got to ensure you can carve out a life you can afford. And always remember, it never hurts to be prepared for the unexpected. Moving right along, the third point is you should have a clear picture of the kind of woman you're after. I'm not talking about those daydreams that pop up when scrolling through young bikini-clad beauties on dating sites. I'm talking real deal considerations. Here are some sample questions you gotta ask yourself and be brutally honest with those answers. How old should she be? Why that age specifically? Do you have any experience with women of that age and do you know what you're getting yourself into? What about her social status? Are you looking for a woman eager to climb the corporate ladder, or would you be more comfortable with a simple homemaker from the provinces? Does your potential partner speak English? Is it good enough for casual chats, or do you both have to whip out Google Translator just to get the gist of what the other is saying? Believe me, solid communication is the bedrock of any relationship. These are the questions you need to mull over. And trust me on this, it's not a waste of time, but a genuine investment in both of your futures. Just some food for thought from someone who's been around the block a few times. And let's keep it real here. If you're pondering getting involved with a younger lady from a relatively lower social stratum, you've got to recognize that you're going to be the one holding the financial reins. To put it bluntly, if she's working at a little Zari store, or maybe she's not working at all, you'll be the go-to guy for finances and will probably get hit up for cash now and then. So, super important, before you set out on the quest for the one, you need to nail down exactly what kind of woman you're after. The minute you veer off your game plan because her bikini pic outweighs her language skills, all your guidelines go out the window. At that point, it's not your brain making the decision, but another part of you. And then, my friend, you can wave goodbye to your dreams. So before you start dating, have a rock solid idea of what you want in a partner. Don't just drift along, only to end up in a relationship that might not be the best for you. The choices you make now will ripple through your life for the long haul. Next up on our list, where do you find the one? Sure, there are blokes on YouTube who will tell you that you can find a good woman in a bar, or that a local tour guide here might be a great starting point. And hey, that might work out for some, but let's be real, the odds are kinda slim. Yeah, you'll have a blast with her, but is she the jackpot? From what I've seen, most guys who get involved with these girls often end up on the losing side. And if you're wondering, but where should I even start looking? I've already posted some videos on where and how to best meet women. Take a gander, get some inspiration, and hopefully it'll all plan out for you both. Wondering if you can spoil your new girlfriend with little gifts? Of course, why not? Flowers, dining out, little trinkets, all fair game if you're met up or hanging out in person. But if it's a long distance thing and you've never met, don't you dare send her cash so she can buy herself something nice or top up her phone credit. Once money enters the equation, you're stepping into a minefield. Honestly, the moment a woman you've never met in person asks you for money, red flag, cut ties immediately. And if you have met her and now you want to help her out, be careful that those little cash gifts don't start snowballing in size over time. So what's the game plan for your future? Got any roadmap laid out for the next 3, 5 or even 10 years? If you bump into that special someone and things get serious overnight, what's your next move? Do you want to bring her to your homeland, or are you plotting to live together in the Philippines? Because let's keep it real, if you're just searching out of loneliness, you're not gonna get far. Especially if you're past the big 3-0, you ought to have some sort of roadmap for your life's journey. One for the upcoming year, then for the next 3, 5 and 10 years. Sure, the further out you go, the fuzzier it gets, but you need to have at least a rough idea of where you're headed. And just off the top of my head, here are 2 more things. You're probably wondering, should I start my search online or fly straight to the Philippines in person? Whichever route you choose, the main thing is you've got to make a choice. Just saying I'm lonely, I need someone to chat with won't cut it. Meeting in person can be tricky, what with long distances and work commitments. And there's always the risk it remains just a holiday fling. As for online dating, are you clued in on the 3 golden rules of online dating? If so, go for it. If not, maybe give the video I made on the subject a watch first. And amidst all this talk about you, always remember to respect the time of the woman you're chatting with or dating. She is on the lookout too, hoping to find someone who's her kind of perfect. So always be upfront with her. If you sense it's not a match, don't string her along. Just wrap it up without wasting any more of her time too. As for my time, you definitely haven't wasted it by watching. And if you're thinking, is it over already? Then I'm stoked you enjoyed it. How about showing some love with a like? Thanks a bunch. And if you dug the video, I hope the others I've got are just as helpful. So pop by again, and hey, why not hit that subscribe button? That way you will get a heads up whenever I upload a new video. Until next time, goodbye from Cebu and catch you later. Bye.